it seems like I'm finally going to get the chance here. I've finally at a place in my life where we can kind of do this kind of thing. We're just gonna jump right in here. We got a couple people in the chat. How's everyone doing? Can everyone hear me okay? Robert, I want to be here, but haven't seen the episode yet. Just a quick howdy do. Thank you so much, Robert. Yeah, that's kind of been a thing of mine. I'm going to be very curious to see how many people end up stopping by. People who haven't seen it yet. That's totally okay. But if you have, make sure to send in your questions, your comments, what you thought about the episode, all of that fun jazz. LBM seems like having the same sentiment. Hey, dude, can't stick around. The episode hasn't aired yet. I'll check back right after the stream. Yeah, thanks, man. That's also another thing I didn't think about. It airs different places in the world at different times, doesn't it? I did not think about that. We're gonna keep it going though. We'll see how this all goes. One Marvel fan, how's it going? So for those who have seen the episode, how are we feeling about it? What's our sentiment? Just thus far into just kind of like raw reactions on the episode and kind of like what everyone's feeling. Again, I always think this is kind of the weird kind of prospect of the episode where I'm like, I haven't fully gathered my full thoughts. Kang Vader in the chat, it was mid. I don't disagree, I think. Now, I also should say, I did miss the first, unfortunately, 10 minutes of this first episode. I didn't quite catch all of it. But I think I got a pretty good recap. I don't think I'm lost on anything big. I will say, and I've heard a couple people talking about this online, they're making weird choices this season as, these are the final, and this is what I've been kind of afraid of. We have 13 episodes left in the entire Arrowverse, The Flash in general, and the first 3 have been weird choices, right? They've definitely done some weird things. I've liked some things that we've done in each one, but, I don't know, you think that you'd be spending your time wiser, if you know what I mean. Spending more time on the things that matter. Although I feel like this was kind of the episode I was dreading just a bit, because this was the episode where I had a couple return characters I wasn't a big fan of. I've never been a big fan of Goldface. I've never been a big fan of the Hotness. Of course, not a big fan of Chillblaine. But I feel like outside of Chillblaine, all these characters kind of improved in my mind. I ended up enjoying each character, I think, just a little bit more than I probably would have in previous seasons. I'll be honest, the Hotness is a character that obviously spoilers, I already have that, going down there, but, the Hotness has been a character that I've, progressively liked more and more as time has gone on. Season 4, thought he was a dumb, metahuman, villain of the week type beat, but, I actually really liked him last season, and then this season, for the most part, I thought he was also fun. Some people more dropping into the chat. Hello, how are we doing? We're just talking about this episode of The Flash. If you have not seen it, maybe come back later. Or anything else you want to drop in the comments. We can talk about anything as well, but primarily The Flash. As people are seeming to come in, what's everyone's general consensus of this Season 9, Episode 3? How are we feeling? I'll be very curious to see some other people's thoughts on everything. I will say, I think this episode in concept is a lot of fun, right? I really like this idea of, 2 teams of rogues going against each other. I think that's pretty fun in theory. I'll be honest, y'all, I thought we were getting Grodd this week. I was I feel like a lot of people were kind of with me on that, that we kind of thought we were going to get Grodd. I wonder, what that scene is then. If that scene where, Barry's, in the woods looking up at someone, who is he talking to? Grodd's the only one I can think of that, who Barry could possibly be chatting with. So I don't know. And I thought it would have been this week. I feel like it has to either be this week or next week, right? Because I don't think they would have even had started filming. Well, I guess it maybe could have been episode 5, but I'm not quite sure. But I have a feeling we'll find out next week. Now, next week is the big two-parter, kind of wrap-up of this arc. It's been a weird one, though. I'll definitely say this has not really felt more of like an arc as much of like a... I don't know. I feel like you have 5 episodes to do, and this is my issue with Godspeed as well. You're giving a certain amount of episodes to do your, big bad, and you kind of just waste the episodes up until those final 2. To the point where I'm like, you could just do a 2-episode arc. I feel like we could have. I would like to hear everyone's thoughts, though, because the ending, obviously, and I feel like we said the same thing last week, and even someone in episode 1, where, I think I said Godspeed, the Red Death stuff was just the best stuff of the episodes. So yeah, I have no idea. So I will be very curious, and obviously we're getting into some spoiler territories. How are we feeling about how we ended it off with Team Batwoman and the Red Death stuff and the reveal? Obviously, most of us have known for a while who was under the cowl. The thing that really did stick with me, though, and kind of shocked me here was this kind of evolution of that Ryan Wilder has gone missing. And that's kind of weird. First of all, why are we just now, I guess, hearing about this, right? I guess I should start with, they know who Ryan Wilder is and who Luke Fox is, which is something I was hoping they would do. I was wondering what was the evolution of these characters. Who knew who? Did Ryan Wilder know, was she on the League? Did they know Team Flash? We had some maybe hints that maybe they did. Levi Oliver, how's it going? Hope you're having a fantastic evening. We're just talking about this episode. Again, questions, comments, anything you want to talk about the episode, just send them our way. Liv, wish there was more Red Death stuff. Doesn't feel like she's making moves for real, and now she's... Yeah, we were just talking about this. It feels weird that you have a 5-episode arc kind of dedicated to Red Death, and you only really spend seemingly 2 episodes with that character. I feel like episode 2 should have been more geared towards Red Death. I don't know. It is kind of interesting, I think, the evolution of Flash in their stories, where first half of the show we had too much time with our villains, and now we don't have nearly enough. We don't have nearly enough time spending with them. We saw that with Godspeed. We saw that with oh my gosh, Ronnie last season. I feel like there's so many villains that could be really cool. Even Bloodwork I could have spent a couple more episodes with. I'm not surprised Team Flash knows about Ryan. They don't really have enough time. No. That's completely fair. I was kind of hoping they would. I was just kind of curious what their history was, and I hope maybe next episode, or maybe a couple episodes in, maybe we get to hear if she was part of the League. Did she just take on Ryan's role? Kate's role on the team? Because Barry seemed very worried when they heard that Ryan was missing. So it seems like they have some kind of history that I'm excited to see. Most of her plot was dominant. Yeah, I agree. And I think there's a weird thing, too, that's happening, where it's I don't know, Barry felt very undermined this week, as far as, he didn't think he could take on Red Death and the Rogues. I feel like he could have, I don't know, he felt like he gave up very easily, as far as, oh, I don't think we can do this, I think we're gonna need help. I thought that was a little weird. But yeah, Rogues was a big part of it, and I think if the Rogues were better, I wouldn't have as much of an issue with that. Because I always liked the idea of having, a Rogues team. But, I don't know. It was fine. I just feel like things have been very slow for 3 episodes now. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. And it's also, just for me, we have 13 episodes of the entire universe left. And it feels like they're kind of wasting them a little bit. It feels like, I don't know, there could be, instead of doing, a time loop episode and a whole episode dedicated to a character that, not necessarily we don't care about, but, why introduce a new character when you could be bringing back another one or something like that. You know what I mean? Also, the only role I liked with Captain Boomerang, Pied Piper. I agree. Actually, yeah, I mean, I've been talking about this for the last week or so. I love both those characters. I've been loving Boomerang. I'm actually shocked that both of them are still, like, around. Like, I thought both of them would have been a one and done, but I am very happy to see them sticking around a little bit. And I hope Pied Piper seems to at least be in this next couple of arcs, or this next couple of episodes here, which I love. I've been saying it for years. He should be a series regular. I don't know why he didn't take over for Ralph a couple of seasons ago. I will say, though, outside of that really weird flirting scene, I did like the hotness this episode. I thought he was kind of fun. Goldface was better, but still not my favorite. I'm assuming they've been in contact with the team off-screen because they knew... Yeah. Which, again, I love. I love that all the teams are still in contact with each other. I assume they have fought together and stuff like that. I do wonder how long it's supposed to have been since the last season of Batwoman, though. If, just kind of like how long it's been, because the Flash is the only show left. They could have had a huge time jump, and we just didn't know it. Like, it doesn't matter about like keeping it like between shows anymore. It feels like the true start of the season will be 9, which is odd. Well, that arc for sure. Well, that seems to be the start. Episode 10, 9 or 10 seems to be the start of that like Cobalt Blue Eddie arc. So, yeah. And it seems like episode 6 through 8 will seeming to be those kind of like fun, fillery episodes, which normally I would hate, but I think since it's the final season, those seem fun, right? Those seem like that's like the Dreamer episode and stuff like that. I think as long as Barry is still in those episodes, I don't have an issue with like them being kind of fillerish. As long as they're telling a cool story. Also, Murmur is just a regular... Yeah, that was weird. I feel like the Flash has had a lot of cool villains, like, over the course of 9 years. You could have found someone better than Murmur. Murmur was an Arrow villain, right? Why did we get her? That was a weird choice. A weird choice. Yeah. Speaking of references, we did reference the DEO, which I loved. I love how we've been getting these small little stuff for Supergirl. Like we got references to the DEO and Kara and Cat Grant. That makes me think we're not seeing Kara, which I understand. It makes sense. Where were we? If they're keeping the interludes things, they should have saved a lot of the Rogue stuff for then. That's not a bad point. I guess it just depends what the interludes are, because like we know the one is the Dreamer episode, seeming to be like I would assume like a tribute to Supergirl as a show, and I'd be curious what the others are, because we don't really know much about 7 and 8 at the moment, right? I'm not sure. But yeah, that's not a bad point. Depends on which characters they're focusing on those interludes. I agree. There's so many characters. I wish I would have loved a full episode just focused on Wally, right? I know, like I am really nervous about that episode, just because like they have said it's going to like focus a lot on Wally. But we also have to get through Oliver Queen and Bloodwork and Diggle, and it's supposed to be like a tribute to Arrow. And like, I really hope Wally's in at least one more episode besides episode, 10? 9, 10? I hope he's in one more. That just really focuses on Wally. It could just be a fun episode with Barry and Wally fighting crime or something. I don't care. I just, because we all know, like, Oliver is going to get all of that screen time. And that's fine. Like he should, like he's the godfather of this universe. He should get like precedence in that episode. But let's see what we have here. Also, can we get rid of the will they want? Yes, thank you. Absolutely. This has been 3 seasons strong, and it's a weird relationship, I think, because it's like, I wouldn't say they're the worst relationship in the Arrowverse, but they're the most annoying. Just because no one cares, and they're, like, they have so much screen time. I feel like there's more of Chester and Allegra than Barry and Iris at some points, right? At least it's more, like, in your face about it, which I'm not a big fan of. The finale will be Chegra wedding. I hope not. They can do that off screen. They can, yeah, they can reference that off screen. Although I would love if we get to hear something about a Ralph and Sue wedding. That'd be cool. I would actually be very for Ralph and Sue. Just mention over the course of the season. Like, this isn't doing anything for the character. Yeah, the season as a whole. Yeah, I mean, I want to hope that, like, episode 4 onward is just going to be just, like, straight awesomeness. But I'm not loving the start of the season. I can already tell you this is already not my favorite final season of, like, these shows. Definitely not. I hope we get more consistency from now on. Episode 3 looks good. You mean episode 4? Yeah, I think 4 or 5. It's just those interludes that I'm really nervous about. So yeah, was he in the episode? Was he in the first, like, 5 minutes? I said this at the beginning of the stream. I did miss the first 10 minutes of this episode. They had me held up at work. I couldn't get home straight away. Was he in there? I did not see him in the bits I saw. I meant 4. Yeah, I think 4. I'm nervous about the season, but it's just those middle episodes I'm really concerned for. I think at this point, onward, if we could just have, like, consistency, then we'll have a solid season, I think. Of course, I remain judgment until we see more. For now, I'm confused on what we're doing. So sorry. Yeah, I think it's a weird kind of, like, hosh-posh of a bunch of things. We know we're having, yeah, it's just kind of, like, we have the Red Death story, then we have a couple weird filler, and then, yeah. We saw a photo of, oh, that's cool, though. That's interesting, because Eric Wallace did say that he, that, like, they're going to pull stuff from, like, season 1. So, that's pretty cool. Like, the season so far is fun and well shot, but they still have a villain pacing issue. Yeah, I don't disagree. And it sucks, because, and again, we've talked about this a while, I like Eric Wallace, but he doesn't have I don't think he does well with new stuff. Like, I think he's really good in, like, plot, like all of these ideas are amazing so far. Like, Red Death as the villain is sweet, and this Oliver stuff and Wally, like, this all sounds amazing, but so far in execution, I'm not loving it. I'm just nervous on how they will handle Red Death. Although I'll say she's been the best part of the season for me. So I think when we really get into, like, the meats and potatoes of her in these next 2 episodes, it'll be good. Although, I'll say this, Eric Wallace usually does a really good job with the, like, those 2-parters. And, like, these, like, events. The ones from Season 6 were amazing. How did Barry get knocked out by Chilblain? In the thing, there were the meta he didn't have his powers. Which, I'm not a fan of. We've done that. We've been there. But that's why he needed the rogues in the first place, because he couldn't use his powers in there. That's why I thought about saving Rose for them. Yeah, that's fair. Fair enough. And I think if you would have done that, I would have picked better rogues as well. Talking about this, I like the show, does amazing visual level, but writing and pacing needs to step up. Yep, I agree. They need to level it up. I think we'll have some fun stuff, though. I think I think I'll enjoy the rest of the season. But this isn't helping my hype level. Daddy likes the middle. Did he say it this episode? He didn't, did he? He had a couple of lines, though. A couple of meme-worthy lines. I don't get why Chillblaine is series regular. Me either. Especially when Hartley is right there. I watched that interview from the DCTV podcast, and he seems, the actor, can't remember his name off the top of my head, he seems like such a joy. He seems to love the show and love the character so much, and he wanted to come back to the show for so long. He seems to have such a passion for that character. Let him be a series regular. We all love him. Is there anyone that doesn't like Hartley? I think, like, he has brought these last 2 episodes such a breath of fresh air. That he's been my favorite part of both of these. I love this, like, dynamic that these two have. He's so good. I don't know, why didn't we... It sickens me. When Ralph left, he should have just taken over. I don't know, I know the actor does Broadway, so maybe that wasn't a possibility. I think he does Broadway, I think that's what I heard. But, also, Keone is neutral for me so far. Yeah, same. I don't hate her. And again, I said this last week. I think she would have been fine if this was done seasons ago. This was like a season 7 plotline. Fine by me. Team Red Death clowning Chillblaine was funny element. Yeah. I had a feeling he was going to switch sides, though. I just had a feeling. I don't get the point of that character. Hartley could have given the show LGBTQIA plus representation. The show's been lacking. Yes, absolutely. I would have loved it. Love the show, but out of all the Arrowverse shows, I think this has been the weakest as far as like all the shows and like representing. Supergirl was amazing. And Black Lightning. And Legends was phenomenal. Arrow didn't have much. It wasn't great, but I thought the Williams stuff they did on that show was amazing. And sometimes Curtis, although Curtis wasn't always done that well. I would have had a Rogues, Captain Cold, Pied Piper, Red Wizard, Golden Glider, and Heatwave. That would have been great. This was an episode where I kept thinking back, like, if we could have got Mick to come back, this would have been perfect. Like, that would have been... And also, that would have been your, like, Legends rep, right? Bring in Heatwave. Heck yeah. Wrap up, like, that show. And, I mean, that's not the wrap-up we want, obviously. But, like, it would have been something. I still kind of have some small hope we can sneak in a Captain Cold reference or cameo or name drop or something. Golden Glider would have been cool, though. Yeah, but no, like, that lineup is great. I would have loved Grodd as well, although Grodd might have been overkill. Honestly, gonna be honest, I don't really mind the pacing issue that much. Like, yeah, it's a bit slow, but doesn't faze me much. Fair enough. If you're enjoying it, that's amazing. And again, I'm not enjoying it. Like, I'm not, like, hating the season. I'm still enjoying it more than well, I enjoyed the first couple of season 7, so I guess I can't say that yet. But I bet I will. Like, knowing what we know already, I'm gonna like it more than 5 and 7, for sure. Actor availability. Yeah, it probably was just that. Just he couldn't... I don't know, though. Like, I wonder... Honestly, it could have been a thing where, like, he was asked to be a series regular, and he just couldn't manage it at the time, which is a possibility. I love Hartley. I wish we would have seen more of him in the show from his introduction. Yeah. I don't know if I would have wanted him a series regular in season 1, just because I don't know how he would have worked all the way back then. But season 6 onward, I think it would have been perfect. Like, if we had certain rogues back, this episode could have been amazing. I agree. I think, again, I've been wanting rogues forever, like an actual rogue storyline, and I thought we may have been doing something like that. But I don't know. It was quite disappointing in my opinion. But like, it's still going on, right? So like, maybe you could turn itself around and be something really cool. I am excited to get more Pied Piper and Captain Boomerang, for sure. Instead of Chilblains being a series regular, they should have had Ralph Dibny. I wouldn't say he was unfairly fired. I understand why they would. I assume he was uncomfortable with the rest of the cast. Although, just recast him. He's literally, I have never seen, and there's probably like behind the scenes reasons why they didn't want to do this, right? But he's literally the easiest character in the history of characters to recast. He can shapeshift. Have a storyline where he has to go undercover for months or whatever, and he has to stay the same shape, and somehow he gets stuck. Or he gets shot with something and he gets stuck as that shape-shifting form or something. That could have been cool. And I think the last couple seasons would have improved if Ralph was still around. I really, really do. With all the new Crisis remixed rogues, a friend's theory is that they'll essentially make Cologne the new weather wizard because they're hinting her natural. Yeah, I don't know if they'll make her weather wizard, but it does seem like her powers are weather connected. But maybe they'll start calling her that. Although I feel like Cisco would have a better name. I feel like he would come up with something sick. The slow pacing is not like we're building to it. It's just like we're running in. Yeah, sure. Fair enough. I think you could have just had it be like a 3-episode arc with a smaller scale, like Red Death story. For sure. And if it's because we couldn't get the actor back, we could have had... Sure. The Flash has had a lot of great rogues. Which we haven't even seen all of them, though. Like, we can't even fully judge, personally. Because we still got Hazard back, which I loved in Season 4. I mean, she wasn't the best, but I thought, like, once they really, like, dug into the meat and potatoes of that character, she was really good. And also Rainbow Raider, which is, potentially one of the most iconic Flash villains. Like, that was he was the first Arrowverse crossover villain, if you think about it. Rainbow Raider and Captain Boomerang, weirdly enough. This is something... Did they reference the Caitlyn stuff at all this week? I missed the first, 10 minutes or so. Did they reference her death at all? This is what I said last week, right? Obviously, they probably called Cisco, off-screen or whatever. But, you're voting if we should bring back Caitlyn or Frost. And my first thought was, why are we doing this decision without Cisco, without her mother, without Joe and Cecile? Why are we doing that now? Why not, I get that Caitlyn isn't, she's very enclosed, right? She doesn't have many friends, she doesn't have many family left, but she does have some people, right? I feel like, I don't know, you should have done something. I don't know, I get you can't just bring Cisco back for this episode, but the whole situation was very weird to me. I didn't like that at all. We talked a lot about that throughout the week. Did not like how they handled Caitlyn anything. Season 7 is the worst season. Fair. I slightly prefer it over Season 5. Just because there's a couple more episodes I like in Season 7 than I like in Season 5. But they're both bottom tier for me. They just moved on like that. Yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb. And I feel like the argument I keep hearing from people is oh, we're just gonna, she's gonna come back at the end of the season or whatever. That doesn't excuse right now, their feelings right now. We're not mourning her at all. And I get you don't want to mourn the whole season, but we literally, a 30-second scene at the end of the last episode would have fixed a lot of my issues. Just a nice, not saying I have to do a full funeral, but a memorial, a service, a something to acknowledge our friend is dead. She's gone. It's weird. Nope. So nothing from Caitlyn this week. Weird. I mean, we did get a little bit from Allegra, but that was more in the line of Frost, because she saw Frost as a sister or whatever. That was weird. Weird, weird, weird. They didn't. LOL. Eric is going to go off on not rushing. Yep, probably. We're probably going to go for another 7 to 10 minutes or so, because I know there's a lot of other content creators starting to put out their contents, and I know I'm probably at the bottom of the people that you guys watch, and that's absolutely fine. I know Eric's going live tonight as well, so later on tonight, go support his stream, go support what he's talking about. He makes some great stuff. 3 out of 5 of the votes were from people who knew her. Yeah. It's weird. Cisco should have been called. Mother should have been called. I don't buy Allegra seeing her as a sister. Like, yeah, it's all off-screen stuff. Well, thank you, Levi. Thank you. That's very nice of you. I appreciate that. I kind of want to do this weekly. Like, if I'm not working, I would like to hop on for a couple minutes after the shows and talk about it. Hopefully for Superman and Lois. Man, I'm here. Okay, here's my question. If I do, so what? About 2 weeks until Superman and Lois and Gotham Knights come out, should I just skip Gotham Knights live? Like, should I just not watch that show live and stream like an hour earlier, or do it after Gotham Knights? I kind of want to talk about Gotham Knights just a little bit. I don't know. That's going to be a show. Man, that's going to be an interesting one. I really hope it's good, though. Like, I legitimately hope they put out some good stuff. I want it to shock the world. I want everyone to think it's going to be the worst show ever, and, like, we come out of it and we're like, holy crap, that was amazing. How amazing would that be? I would love that. I always want to come out of a thing thinking it was better than I thought it would. Absolutely. So, any final thoughts on this episode? We didn't even talk about the ending too much, though. I don't know why, I was shocked when Ryan said, "I am vengeance." So, okay, here's my question on all of that. So, Ryan Wilder is currently missing. Do we think that this is the same Ryan Wilder, or that Red Death has kidnapped Ryan? I think Red Death has kidnapped Ryan. I really hope it's not the same character. I would hate that. No, it has to be, because we saw from, like, set photos that there was, like, 2 of them. So, yeah, it has to be, like, so she had to have, like, kidnapped her. I think. Unless she, like, cloned herself, that wouldn't make much sense. I'm only watching the first 3. If it doesn't sell me, I'm out. The season ends, see what everyone else to say. That's fair. That's fair. I think 3 episodes is very generous. I am always a component of, if you're not enjoying something, don't watch it. 100%. Don't force yourself to watch something that you're not liking. That's completely fair. Javicia in her gothic era. So is Red Death from the future, or the thoughts on the street currently is that she's from an alternate timeline. It seems like the popular opinion theory is that she's from the reverse Flashpoint that we saw last season. Something happened over there. Although I would prefer if it was just like an alternate reality, but I feel like that's looking more and more unlikely every day. Yeah, we go for about 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. But yeah, I mean, I feel like each episode we're kind of just like, I want that Red Death stuff. It feels like it's just like a tease. Like we're all just waiting on that one thing, and that's episode 5. And I don't know if that's amazing writing. I just hope they don't make her sympathetic. Well, you're gonna want to make her sympathetic. That's what makes a good villain. You're gonna want, like you're gonna want to care for her. That's why you make Red Death Ryan and not Bruce, because we have no connection with Bruce. I get what you're saying, though, like you want them to be ruthless, you don't want them to be able to be talked down. But I think you want to be able to, like, appreciate them in at least some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? That's why we love Zoom, because like we got to spend a whole season like bonding with Zoom and loving that character, and again like sympathizing with who he is. I guess Thawne, couldn't really do that with Thawne. Well, I mean, I guess you kind of did, right? Same thing with him. We got to spend a whole season with him. Thinker was like a family man. Savitar was weird, because I guess we should have been able to, like, sympathetically attach ourselves to him. He's a very tragic character. He was literally our lead, so we should be able to, but they didn't really give us that chance. Now I wish Season 8 was the last season, because 9 doesn't feel like the final season. Yet. Doesn't feel like it yet. We still got 10 more episodes. Looking at what we had, absolutely not, personally. I mean, you wouldn't have Wally, you wouldn't have Oliver, you wouldn't have this, what looks to be this epic speedster war. So, absolutely. I wouldn't count the Flash out for the count yet. Like, a couple mid-episodes. Plus, I'll just take as much content as I can get, right? Although Season 8 wouldn't have been the worst final season. I feel like that would have been a better final season than Batwoman's final season, and Legends. Legends was solid, too, if it wasn't for the cliffhanger. I loved when Barry first saw Red Death, and straight set up Thawne. Yeah. Honestly, my first thought probably would have been Zoom, though. I think Red Death reminds me more of Zoom than Thawne. But yeah, Barry got that PTSD. Oh, I will take the mid for the good stuff. Oh yeah, sure. So like these first couple episodes of mid for what comes. Yeah. Oh no, we got some cool stuff ahead, I think. I'm very excited for. It probably won't feel like the final season to the back half at the all. Yeah. I think it's those final 5. I think that's really going to be a lot of fun. What is it? 10, 11, 12, 13? Yeah. I'm excited. I mean, I think every episode from now on we should have a guest, though, right? I mean, Ryan Wilder, rest of the season, or rest of this arc, the next 2. Then Dreamer in episode 6. What is episode 7? I feel like we know nothing about 7 and 8. I feel like we know nothing. But overall, this week was 7 out of 10. Sure, that's fair. I have a hard time doing my rating system. Everyone drop your ratings. What do you guys think your rating would be? I would say I probably agree. Probably a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. I think it might be I won't say it's my favorite of the season. I would say it's my second favorite. I would say episode 1, then episode 3, then episode 2. Is it 7 and 8? I swore it was episode 6. Maybe. It's one of those, like, interlude episodes. I'm very excited for Nia, though. I am very excited. 8 Nia. Everyone's saying a different episode. Is it? You guys could be right. It could be. 6 is Cecile and Allegra. Ugh. I don't love that. No, I don't hate them. I don't need a whole episode dedicated to them. It's kind of hard to rank these episodes because they all feel the same. Fair enough. Fair enough. Alrighty, guys. I think that's going to be it for me. I know a bunch of other people are coming out. I think Eric starts in like probably 10:30ish. So I'll let you guys head out. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you all so much for hopping in here and chatting with me. I'm gonna try and do this next week as well. I had a lot of fun chatting with y'all. Oh, is Becky Sharp episode 7? I thought Becky Sharp was part of this arc. No? I guess that would make sense. Interesting. Okay, I guess that makes sense then. The titles for 7 and 8 and possibly 9, maybe, I don't know, next month. I don't know if they'll get revealed, but who knows. They should get revealed sometime. 6, I mean. Okay. Alrighty. But good night, everybody. Thank everyone for stopping by. This was a lot of fun. Enjoy your evening. We should be... I don't know if I'll do any other streams throughout the week, but this was a lot of fun. Thank y'all, but I'll see you guys on the flip side. Bye-bye. I didn't press the button. This is awkward. It's not letting me end the stream.